Imagine this, Americans never even switch keyboard layouts. And they never exchange dollars either. How do they even live like that? Because all we have is hryvnias, Ukrainian money. They also rarely travel outside the country. They've got so many parks, mountains, and climate zones there that there is barely any reason to. And how do they pay in Europe with their dollars? What year are you living in? Bank card exists, you know? I am from the last century. They probably won't pay by card everywhere. Foreign transaction fees and exchange fees already add like 2-3% on top of the price. Plus, the exchange rate is usually terrible, so add another 1-2%, but of course, not everyone's like that. Maybe. I was just talking about what I've personally seen many times. Of course, there's always a certain percentage of people who do exchange money. Americans rarely go to Europe anyway. The US already has everything, every climate, people from all over the world, so for them there is not much reason to go anywhere else. Damn, I've got 5 languages on my keyboard. Maybe the ones who never travel outside the States, but the ones who do travel usually know several languages. Being American must be boring, like how have they never even tried learning English? They haven't changed anything for like 100 years already. And what about Spanish? ICE is already on its way to you. I've got 4 languages on my iPhone: Ukrainian, Georgian, British and Moscow language. And they even watch Hollywood movies in the original language. And one day that'll be me too. And the English too. The English at least learn French. A third of them speak Spanish fluently, and quite a lot of them speak other languages too, including Slavic ones. So yeah, they do switch layouts depending on who they are talking to. And dollars too, like how do they survive a crisis? We exchange dollars when things get rough. What do they do? Yeah, and coding probably more fun for them too. You just write stuff in Python, in your native language and get the bag. And if you hand them a phone with a different keyboard layout, they give it back and say they don't know those letters. A third of them speak Spanish. Ukrainians who moved to the US. Did your American neighbors come over to introduce themselves with a pea cake in their hands? They did. They brought the kids a lot of clothes and basket of fruit. And an old American woman gave me a very expensive tablecloth. A really beautiful one. I only put it on the table for special holidays. We still have a very warm relationship. Sometimes we grill meat in our backyard and invite them over. They're older now and always so happy when I ask them to come. The old man always says he has a good wine saved for occasions like that. He buys it and hides it away. And when we invite them, he brings it out. I love them. They help me so much with the kids. They did. I have a photo. In Canada, they came over with peas and with touching little notice with names on them, theirs, their kids, their cats, their dogs too. In America, we lived in an African American neighborhood. Nobody came over with peas, but someone left 5 packs of sunflower seeds on the windshield. They probably found out somewhere that Ukrainians love eating sunflower seeds, and 5 packs because we have 5 kids. No, unfortunately. One neighbor came over asking us to get a cat off his roof. Another offered me garden shears when I was trimming hydrangeas with a knife. But the award for best neighbor goes to the Ukrainian guy who didn't say hello even once in 2 years. Even thought we tried. Guess we just don't live in the kind of state where people go around visiting with baskets like in the movies. No, but during the New Year holidays, they slipped a letter to us. My husband and I opened it and there was $200 inside and a letter in Ukrainian. It said happy holidays and wished for us to go to a restaurant with that money and relax without any worries. Oh, Lampilov, that's interesting. Are they definitely American Americans? The first time it was Jehovah's Witnesses knocking. The second time I didn't open the door anymore. In our first place, no, but in the next one, yes, not with peace, but with little gifts, or they just come introduce themselves and exchange contacts. I become friends with one of the neighbors. We get together for wine nights, exchange snacks and pick up each other's packages when someone's away. No, we've been living in this house for 3 years already, and we still don't even know some of the neighbors. We barely even say hi to each other. Yes, an apple pie, it was really delicious. The neighbor baked it herself. and the head of the homeowners association, and her family also brought us a whole bucket of different goodies. What was especially nice is that everything was from local producers. Really sweet. Even now, the neighbors always bring us something, and we bring things to them too. Honestly, I really like that kind of thing. Some for Thanksgiving and Christmas. This year I baked Eastern bread and gave some to the neighbors for Easter too. But maybe it's because it's a small homeowners association, literally just 3 streets, and everyone's known each other for years. Plus, we live in a village, so yeah. Yes, and we went to introduce ourselves too. We brought cookies and cards, and every year before Christmas we exchange gifts with the neighbors too. We exchange cookies at Christmas. Yes, both with peace and without. Extremely nice people. Today I found out that my Latina friends call me Cold Slavic bitch between themselves. Honestly, I'm not offended. Honestly, it's really interesting seeing how people from different cultures perceive us. A few times people called me Libriana. Liber means free. It crept me up immediately because it reminded me of the joke. What? Vegetarian? What are you talking about? I have a husband. In my opinion, it's still better than hearing gringa all the time. My jaw already clenches whenever I hear it. And Latina girls are actually really jealous of girls with Slavic facial features. So what country are the girls from? Colombia and Mexico. And why do they call you that? Probably because I'm pretty reserved person, and I've heard many times that I have a very serious or even angry facial expression. I think maybe for them it reflects my attitude towards them or something like that. Even thoughts they're nice girls. It's just not typical for me to chatter with someone I barely know about everything in the world for 3 hours. Strange or smile when nothing's funny, but for them that's normal, and if you don't do it, you're cold. I consider that a badge of honor. Congrats! Recognition of what? It's just a vivid example of the difference in the mentalities. You'll understand someday, but you're doing great. Everything's relative. I was once really surprised when Belarusian told me that Ukrainians seems very hot-tempered, energetic, and quick to flare up to them, because we've got southern blood, better cold than a cold. I don't know how everything works here, but I desperately need to find out which states people in the US actually like living in. So far, I honestly haven't found any advantages to living in California. There are plenty of places that are just as warm, but housing costs $13 instead of $25, and the salaries are the same. Finding a job here turned out to be one hell of a quest, even after 6 months. It's dirty. There are a lot of mentally unstable people, nowhere to really walk unless you live somewhere outside the city in a safe area. Traffic jams, too many migrants, and Spanish is everywhere instead of English. I am from the Bay Area. Honestly, I feel like traffic is bad everywhere in every state. Same with homelessness. And about places to walk, California is one of the coolest places in the world. For that, also disagree with the just as warm part. There is really no climate like this anywhere else. In all the places, either the winters are cold or the summers are insanely hot. Taxes and housing, yeah, expensive. There are definitely cheaper places. But personally, I decided I just need to make more money. I love when immigrants complain that there are too many immigrants around. I am in PA right now, in the middle of nowhere. The only plus is the farms with fresh products, but Spanish is everywhere. Now too maybe less in the central states, but it's boring there. Even though it's beautiful. I was looking at jobs and a lot of them require you to be bilingual in Spanish for like $15 an hour. Good evening, Karina. The main thing is don't lose faith for you're smart, that you're doing great, and that everything will work out for you. The States are a huge country, so it's important to find people who've already gone through this path. Thank you so much. Unfortunately, I mostly meet people who either got lucky, had connections helping them, or have been doing deliveries for 8 years. More often people are at the same stage as me and less job searching and despair. Friends of mine live in Chicago and everything seems good there. They like it. They found jobs in their field, so naturally the pay turned out good too. I recommended North Carolina, Charlotte. It's cheaper there, are a lot of our progressive people there. Nature, the ocean, mountains, forests nearby, no constant drug propaganda and stuff like that. Good schools and capital. Raleigh is one of America's IT hubs after Silicon Valley and Austin. The downside is that it's very hot for about 4 months in the summer. But if you're not tied to a job location, it's perfect. I'm actually planning to move there myself soon. Haven't heard a single complaint yet from people who moved there. Northern Virginia, the DC suburbs. Everything's great, safe, beautiful, developed, tons of everything, plenty of jobs too. The only downside is the prices, basically on the same level as California. Life in LA is probably really expensive indeed, but taking half a year to find a job when U4U gives you work authorization automatically, that's something. So I understand, you were probably looking for a job related to creativity, and naturally, there are tons of people like that here, if not millions. But as they say, the road is mastered by the one who keeps walking. I live in LA, and I feel more comfortable here than anywhere else. But I understand everyone has different tastes. So judging by what exactly you don't like about LA, I'd guess you'd probably enjoy Arizona. The weather is great all year round except July and August, when it's literal hell there. It's clean anywhere, almost no homeless people or traffic jams. It's safe to walk around. Thoughts honestly, IDK were exactly. As for salaries, I'm not sure the pay in cheap states is actually on the same level as California, but maybe in your field it is. I won't argue with that. Whoa, interesting comment. So what do you like about LA? What do you do for work? Have you been there long? Thank you. I've been in LA for almost 3 years now, and in the States overall for 10. What I like about LA is that it actually feels like a city, not a village. People walk on sidewalks here, unlike in a lot of other places. Maybe that sounds weird, but after Silicon Valley and Arizona, to me that feels like a sign of life. I also love that within a 2-4 hours drive from here, you can see snow and mountains, sun and the ocean. Vegas and San Diego. People here are used to immigrants too, so they don't freak out when they hear an accent like they do in Arizona. Restaurants, clubs, palm trees and the ocean. Those are also advantages that a lot of places just don't have. I work as a director of 3 residential complexes, and I also work a little at a hotel on the side, so I can get discounts. Whoa, then I guess it really is your city. You're doing amazing. It's very individual. I live in New York and I really love it here. Yeah, it's very expensive and dirty in some places, but there are so many great restaurants, museums and shows. A really developed bike culture, well-dressed people, and all 4 seasons. I don't like driving or even being in a car in general, and living in an apartment. Europe is also close. You can fly to Paris or Milan, round trip for like $500. Before this, I live in Boston. Same prices as New York, but way more boring and colder. I love New York. There is so much here for literally any taste or need. Right now I live in Pennsylvania, in a house because it's easier with kids, but I still commute to Manhattan for work and absolutely love walking around there whenever I have time. I read somewhere that out of all the major US cities, Houston is a place where you can live really well while spending the least amount of money compared to other cities. We're actually moving there soon, so we'll see. We live in Georgia. It's an awesome state. Prices are much lower. People are so nice and friendly. The climate is amazing and it's very green. Marijuana isn't legalized here either, which is a plus for me because there is no weed smell everywhere. There are also a lot of opportunities here. During COVID, a lot of people moved here from California and New York, so big companies started opening offices here. And all that. There's access to the ocean, mountains, lakes and stuff like that. So we're waiting for you to visit. What do you like about America? How did Americans treat you? And which state do you live in? Write in the comments. You bring the subscription, I'll bring the like. Don't forget to check out the new videos and find us on social media.